Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Reaching Riches here. So I'm going to be covering the trades that RoundHill did this week, from the 2nd to the 5th. They still do have one more trading day, which is going to be Monday, and then they're likely to announce the distributions for that week, Monday also. I mean, that's the trend that they have been doing, so that's what I'm gonna be expecting. Also, yesterday I did receive my distributions from RoundHill yesterday, so you guys should be seeing that come in. If not yesterday, if you didn't see it come in, then it should be coming in real soon. If you had Robinhood, then they likely paid you out yesterday, just like they paid me out. I only have a few shares, so I didn't get paid too much, but I mean, distributions is distributions, so I'll take what I can get. Alright, so just to recap of what they paid out, it was 33 cents for QDTE and 12 cents for XDTE. So let's get into the tracker here. I haven't filled these in yet. We're gonna see these live together, but these are the ones I did earlier this week, and I'm just gonna do a quick recap. So they sold 50 contracts of XND for 8 cents a share, for about $400. Premium collected. They did win this strike, and they collected a full premium. And then on NDX, they sold 4 contracts for $17.74 per contract and collected $7,096. They also won this one as the price closed below their strike at 181.21, and they collected a full $70.96 on that one. So on Tuesday, they sold 50 contracts of XND for 27 cents per contract, and they collected the full. Oh, actually, they collected $13.50 for this trade, and it closed above their strike at 181.60. So the strike was 181. It closed at 181.60, and they took a loss on that one. So they paid $3,000 to close it, and they only collected $13.50. So net they lost $16.50. And over here for their NDX, they sold 4 contracts at 20.63, collecting 8,252. They sold the strike at 18.130, and it closed at 18.160. So they lost this one also. They paid 12,076 to close, meaning they were net loss of 38.24. So let's go see how they did this week, or on the 4th, which should be what was that, Thursday. Thursday they sold 50 contracts again, collected $900 in premium, and let's go see what strike they sold at. So let's run the review, and they sold. Little slow today. Alright, so they sold the 184. It closed at 178, so that means they won this contract, and they got to keep the full $900. So good job RoundHill on that one. So let's look at NDX. They sold 4 contracts and collected 6,048 in premium. NDX opened at 18,331, and it closed at 17,878. Alright, so let's go see how they did on this one. And it's a win. So 18,410 was their strike. It closed at 17,878, and they got to keep the full $6,048. So good job RoundHill again. Alright, and then let's look at Friday's trade. So yesterday, NDX or XND, they sold 50 contracts again, collected $1,900. Nice. All right, and let's go reveal. So they opened at 179 and closed at 181. So let's see how this went. And that's a loss. Oh man, it's a loss. All right, so they had a strike of 180. It closed at 181. All right, so it cost them $5,400 to close, and they only collected $1,900. So that was a $3,500 loss. That's not good. And let's look at NDX. So they sold 4 contracts, collected 17,464. It opened at 19,940. They had a strike of 1820. And it closed at 18,108. Not good. So they took a loss on that one also. So cost to close was 35,384. So oh, damn. So yeah, so they took a loss of 17,920. So not good. So far 2 wins and 2 losses. So they're 50% win rate for this week. That's not that great. But they still have one more day, so they have Monday to do one last trade to lock in profits for that distribution week. Alright, so let's look at the running total so far. So for this week, Tuesday through Friday, their profit loss is negative 12,000, 12,450. So not good, but that's not what they're gonna distribute out anyway. They're only gonna distribute just the premium. So even if they take a loss, they're still gonna distribute that out. So premium collected so far is 43,410, or 24 cents a share. So looks like we're on the road to another around 30 cent distribution. If they win Mondays, this could jump up to another 6 cents, but we will see. We'll see what they trade. So look forward to Monday to see what happens there. All right, so let's move on to XDTE. So XDTE, on Tuesday they had 11 contracts, collected 1144 in premium, and they won that trade. They had a strike 52.30, and it closed below their strike at 52.04. So they collected they profited a full profit of 1144. So good job there. On Wednesday, same 11 contracts. They collected 29.04 this time. Had a strike of 220, and it closed at 52.11. So that means it closed below their strike, and that means they get to collect the full profit of 29.04. So let's go ahead and reveal. And so this one, same thing, 11 contracts. They collected 35.64, and their strike was 52.65. So good job there, 3 wins in a row. So our strike was 52.65. It closed at 51.47. So full profit again. So they collected 35.64 full profit. All right, let's look at Fridays. So here we go. So 11 contracts again. They collected 12,914. That's a lot right there. So probably one of their biggest collections so far, but it was a loss. Oh man. All right, so they had a strike of 51.75, and it closed at 52.04. So that means they were in the money, and they took a loss on this one of 32,274. So a loss of 19,360. So not good. Oh man. All right, so let's look at here. So profit, running profit loss, they're negative 11,000. So that one loss took out all the gains for the week. But again, they're not going to distribute out what they made. They're distributing out what they collected. So they collected 20,526, or that would equal to a dividend per share of 20 cents, based on how many outstanding shares. So this hasn't moved all week, so that's good. Right now we're still looking at a 20-cent dividend. Alright, so we can go ahead and look at their long calls. Here we go. I removed the other columns here about whether their value of the calls are going up or down. Some in the comments said it wasn't really relevant, so I removed it. But mainly, you can see that their outstanding shares, I just put them here just to see what they are, so we can help with the math of finding out the distributions. And so this is just a log of their calls. So right now they were working off of 4 contracts for NDX. On Friday they were able to buy 1 more contract of NDX. So going into Monday we're gonna see 5 contracts sold, and still the 50 contracts sold here. So they're going to be collecting more premium on Monday since they have more contracts to play with. And on XDTE there are no changes. There's still 11 contracts throughout the whole week here, and outstanding shares have been the same all week. Alright, so let's get into the QDTE and XDTE analysis. So actually need to update this. Let's go add a row and another row, 2 days. So let's go ahead and update this 04, 03, 24. Alright, and then sorry, I gotta grab the numbers off of here. And just make sure this is right. Yeah, okay. And then one more. Sorry. 4/05 /4. This is actually typo. Alright, so let me grab those numbers again. Sorry about that. Forgot to fill this section out. And copy this formula up. Alright, so let me just fix this part. Alright, so let's see. So we got starting on the 2nd. So from the close on the 1st going into the 2nd, it gapped down $200, and then going on the 2nd, close on the 2nd down to the open on the close, or open on the 3rd, it got down another $67. But going from the close of the 3rd to the open of the 4th, it gapped up 170. So that is great. So we made some gains there, coming back up, and then the close of the 4th to the open of the 5th, it gapped up another $61. So that means the value of the long calls are going up just because it gaps up. So this is what one of their main talking points is that they have overnight exposure for those gap up and gap downs. The numbers here are the same. So yeah, largest gap down is still 216.77, and the largest gap up is 215.99. Alright, so let's go over here. So I did talk to the RoundHill guys, and they did say this distribution is lagging. So if we look at the numbers, this is what we already saw. So the first distribution was 36 cents. They made 59,424, and they made 42 cents per share, and they only distributed out 36, which means they still have 6 cents to roll over into the next distribution. And if we saw here, they had 140,000 shares, collected 44,813, which means they could distribute out 32 cents. So here, if you add the rollover amount plus how much they made or how much they collected that week, we would get 38 cents. They actually distributed out 33 cents, which means they had 5 cents to roll over into the next distribution. So if we look here, the shares did jump up to 180,000. They collected 16,969, which means they collected 9 cents in premium per share. So that's what we see here. And if you add in the rollover amount, that would mean 15 cents available to distribute. Now they haven't announced this distribution yet. We should see this Monday night to Tuesday of next week. So we'll see what they pay out here. My estimate is that 15 cents because that's what they have. I mean, if they're going to distribute everything, it will be 15 cents. So we might see a big drop in their distribution, but we will see. So if we look at this week, it's still 180,000. They made significantly more than last week, so 43,410 in premium, which would mean 24 cents in 24 cents per share in distributions. So what I think they might do now that now that I see the numbers, they might, if this comes up as, or if they make more money on Monday, to keep their distribution stable, I think they might take some money from here and then shift it to here to keep this distribution amount stable. But time will tell to see what they actually do. I mean, the numbers are showing 15 cents if they're only going to pay this out, but I don't think they're going to drop it that low, because if they do, I think we're going to see a lot of people leave their funds. I think realistically, they're probably going to keep it around that 30-cent range. Probably steal some of the premium from here to distribute here. Alright, so now let's look at XDTE. Sorry, I got to steal these numbers also. Let's grab these two. And then here. Alright, so 4, 5, 2024. And then let's drag this up. Alright, so let's see how they're doing on their gap up and gap downs. So on the close of the second, it gapped down by $11. And then the close of the third, it gapped up by $32 over here. And close of the fifth, or close of the fourth, opening on the 5th, it gapped up again another $11. So still the largest gap down is $39.48, and the largest gap up is $37.68. So they are net positive of $83 on gaps. So let's look at their distributions. So I should probably add in the actual pay date so we can see it more clearly. But so March 7th to the 15th, they had 35,000 shares. They collected $44.14 or $4,414 in premium, which means they could distribute out 13 cents. And they distributed out 20 cents, and that was paid out on the 25th, I think. Let's see what it was. So they declared on the 25th, paid out on the 28th. Alright, so March 18th to 22nd, still 35,000 shares, collected $42.45 in premium, so $4,245. They dividends per share is 12 cents. So since paying this one, they paid out more than what they made, so they're in the whole 7 cents. But if you net their 12 cents with the rollover amount, they're available to distribute out that 5 cents. But that's not what they did. They kind of just didn't care about the negative and just distribute out to 12 cents anyway. So that means they're in the hole of 7 cents. So March 25th to the 1st, which is what we should be getting paid next week, or we should see that declaration next week. They have outstanding shares of 105,000. They only collected $2,011. Dividend per share is only 2 cents. They're probably just not going to care about how much money they're in the hole. But I mean, just looking at the math, if you net the 2 cents made and the negative 2 cents during the, or 7 cents during the hole, available to distribute is negative 5 cents. Which I know they're probably gonna distribute something out. They're not just gonna not distribute. So I really don't know what they're gonna distribute here. We'll see when they declare next week. If I had to take a guess, it's probably gonna be around maybe somewhere between 12 and 15 cents. Or they could take some of the premium from this week's and move it over here. But yeah, we'll see. So moving on to this week of April 2nd to the 8th, still 105,000 shares, $20,000 and $20,526 in premium collected. And right now they're looking at 20 cents that they can distribute. Now they still have 1 day to collect more premium, so this could fluctuate, maybe, I don't know, maybe another 5 cents depending on if they win, or yeah. So we will see what they do on Monday, how much they make. But right now it's projecting 20 cents per share, which that'd be great. But we won't really see this until when, the 15th, the week of the 15th. So when they declare on the 16th, we will see these payments because they're lagging by a week. All right. And then one last thing I want to get into is, let's go to Seeking Alpha here. So someone did say to compare how the funds are doing with the underlying. So I got QDTE here pulled up, NDX and QQQ. So NDX and QQQ are gonna be real similar. There's like a 0.15% difference in here. So not very much. As you can see, the purple and the blue lines are pretty dang similar. And I do have it up on total return. So this is taking into account any distributions paid out. So if you look at NDX, it's up 1.18%. And this is going back 1 month. Because QDT hasn't really been out that long. It's only, inception is the 7th of March. So almost 1 full month. So QDTE is down 2.48% since inception, and it's paid out what's like around 60-70 cents in distributions right now. So yeah, that's not something I would really want to see in these. I know other funds do have that quote unquote NAV erosion, but yeah. So I mean, on the huge updates, they're paying a lot to close, but they are making a ton of premium on those. But yeah, that's not something I want to see, is that negative 2.48% in about a month's time. So that's not that great. So we're gonna have to see how they try to keep this NAV stable. Maybe if they started selling their calls more out of the money, they might be able to capture more upside, and then these could be much closer. But I mean, their QDT, they have a 70, almost 74% win rate, so not too bad. They win a lot, but when they lose a ton. So I'll probably make a column here for the largest loss. So but yeah, if we look at XDTE, so this one I couldn't get the same chart because this one was a 1 month. If I move this to the 1 month, it just looks all crazy. So I'm doing the 6 month just because it looks looks a little better, but the numbers are going to be skewed, so I guess I need to move it back. Alright, so sorry about the chart, it just looks real bad. So here, this one actually did, I mean, it's pretty flat so far. I would be okay holding XDTE if it stayed flat and still paid out good dividends, just because it looks like it's held its NAV pretty well so far. But yeah, so let's look at SPX and SPY. So SPX is up 2.45%, SPY is up 2.2%. So yeah, XDTE has been capped on their upside. Just as we all know, that's how cover called funds work. They get capped on the upside, and generally speaking, they're selling calls out daily at about 0.5% out the money. So that's kind of expected. They're not capturing that much upside. If they sold it further out the money, we could definitely see much more upside appreciation. But so far, they're pretty flat at 0.05% since inception. So yeah, so not doing not doing as great as their underlying, but I'm still happy to hold this fund, as long as they can hold this NAV. Now if it starts dropping, kind of similar to QDTE, it might be a different story. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna sell out yet. So far, I'll continue to hold. I mean, I've continued to hold the Defiance funds, even though their price has been dropping. But that's only really because they're what's it called? They're distributing like so much income. So and I'm fine with that risk. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like down below, and if you want to see more videos just like this, please hit that subscribe button. And just disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't even have a background in finance. And this is just pure fun and entertainment. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'm out.